Hello there everyone, my name is Rosemonkey and welcome back to another weekly vlog, which I think it's been about a month and a half maybe since I've done one of these, maybe even longer. So I thought it was about time I actually did one, updated you guys on more than what's happened this week, and then hopefully continue to do them hereafter. Hopefully. The first big change is I now have a lapel mic, so hopefully the audio for these videos is going to be a little bit better. Fingers crossed. And the reason why it's taken so long for me, or part of the reason why it's taken so long for me to come back and do one of these, is because I have a new job, sort of. So I'm still working for the same company, but the role that I'm doing within that company has changed. I no longer work in a call centre per se, I work in the back office, and my role, though I will not say any more than the bare basics, does involve me running about like a headless chicken between some of the different departments, spending time with people in some of those different departments and seeing how a lot of the back office works at the moment. And until I have a working knowledge of how those departments work, I can't effectively do the rest of my job. But so far it is the most exciting thing. I've only been doing it for a week, but I am absolutely loving it. And it is only a secondment at the moment, but I am hoping to make it a permanent position because I can definitely see myself doing this for a very, very long time because it is so much fun. So another reason why I've been quite distant and not really been online much, apart from obviously the new job and everything changing up and me having to focus on that, is I did get a little bit burned out from the October Halloween run, the 12 games in 12 days. There was so much intense video making involved in that month to try and get those 12 videos out, and they were, again, amazing fun to do. I loved so many of those games. They were so much fun to play. But again, I burned myself out a bit and needed a bit of a break because, I'm again not going to go too much into detail, but things have been very hectic in my personal life over the last few months, and obviously my work life, which you guys do know a little bit about. I think I also mentioned some difficulty with some of the animals. I know Sheena had mites. I think the last time I vlogged about the animals, I mentioned that Sheena had mites. They have now cleared up. Teddy's bacterial infection has also cleared up. So all three of them are now doing so much better, and they are in their properly substrated environments. I'm not going to video them today because Reenie is asleep, Teddy is grumpy, and Sheena has just been fed. So I'm not going to bother them today, but hopefully by next week I will have some footage for you. So one thing I'm not looking forward to tomorrow, which is Monday, will be going back to work because it's been snowing this weekend, which isn't a bad thing, I guess, for most people, but I can be quite clumsy as it is, and snow and me do not get on at all. Add that to the fact that the work boots I'd been using decided to get holes, like on Friday, and leak really bad when it was snowing, meant that I had to go shoe shopping, which isn't something I really do that much, but I've had to do it because otherwise I'm going to have wet feet every day. So the first shoes I got are these. These were from Tesco, and these were £16, I think. There's a bit of a sale on at the moment, so these were only £16. And I don't normally get like brown shoes, but these are so comfy, so comfy. So I just had to like get them anyway, and I couldn't find the other shoes I wanted, so I got these in case I couldn't find any other shoes. However, I did then find the shoes I wanted, which were these ones. These were from Matalan. They are £26, but they didn't have them in the size I wanted in the Matalan near my house. Well, I say near my house, nearest to my house. So when me and my friend hung out at the weekend, he had to drive me over to a further away Matalan to see if we could find them. And these are actually a 7. I think. Usually in shoes I'm a size 5, but in boots I'm normally a size 6 because boots are made a bit tighter, and size 5s I can't fit my feet in properly, they're too uncomfortable. But these, they're a little bit on the loose side, but only very slightly, and that's probably going to come in handy when it comes to like snow, because I can put extra layers of socks in if I need to. And the grip on these, there's a sticker on the bottom, but apart from that, the grip on these is amazing, whereas the brown ones, it's only sort of a very mild grip, but these are proper. I'm not going to fall over in these, hopefully. I probably still will. Okay, so what have I been into the past few months? What have I been doing is a good question. First of all, movies and TV shows. I haven't really watched any new ones. I still really want to watch Stranger Things. I'm really excited about the new series of Black Mirror coming out later this month, but I haven't actually sat and watched any TV shows. I've been watching quite a lot of YouTube videos. I've recently got really into Super Carlin Brothers and watched a lot of their theories, and obviously watching quite a lot of MatPat's theories. I've watched his playthrough of or the game theory live playthrough of FNAF 6, even though it's not FNAF 6. I've never actually played any of the Five Nights at Freddy's games, but I'm so fascinated with the lore behind those games, that whole story. And I've got so excited, and I've even got my friend involved, and me and him last night were discussing the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's and watching a bunch of videos and talking about sort of the intricate story behind those games and the sort of things that you sort of have to dig beneath the surface to find. And there's so many exciting things that, I mean, if I want to try and be a bit of a theorist for a very slim second, and I normally don't theorize, I normally just absorb theories, I don't think of my own, but I'm very interested in the fact that Cadet Bot, or is it Cadet Bot? Candy Cadet guy, he has 3 stories that he tells you, all relating to 5 objects, or animals, or children, being put together into one. I find that very interesting. My friend's biggest focus was also on the fact that it's a woman, a small child, and an old man that do these 3 things, respectively. But I was fascinated by the rule of 5, because 5 children seems to be something that keeps cropping up in Five Nights at Freddy's. And I was also really interested about the house. The house where it's in the racing game. You get into like a little house, and there's a guy in front of the TV, or a girl in front of the TV, and or a person in front of the TV. Doesn't need to be a boy or a girl. Could be gender neutral, you know. And the yellow person, again, could be gender neutral. The way that they are presented, I think, definitely seems like a more masculine stance than feminine, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are masculine. The one pronoun you definitely know is they're referring to the person who's in the locked room at the back being a he. That's definitely a he. But I've been sort of trying to figure out who that person could be, who the 2 people in the house could be, the person in front of the TV and the yellow person, or orange person, if you want to call them orange, sort of ambiguous orange-yellow. Doing some digging back through some of Scott's text colours and choices of text as well. The yellow guy speaks with yellow text, which does link, I think, to what could possibly be William Afton. The person in front of the TV speaks with grey text, which could link to... It could be Michael Afton, to be fair, because at the end of FNAF 4, somebody's like, "Can you hear me? I'm sorry," with grey text. And that could be either Mrs. Afton, the mother, or I think more likely Michael Afton, the boy. But then, at the time that I believe personally the pizzeria simulator of FNAF 6 is set, Michael should be the only child left at that point. So the bald person could be the father or the mother. I don't know. There's so many, but it's fascinating. It really, really interests me. Okay, so enough about FNAF. What other games have there been going on in my life recently? Games I've actually played. I've been playing a game called Feel the Snow. It's so adorable. I've managed to complete it up to the point where the update came out. I think the update is either out now or about to come out. So I may do a Let's Play of that, which I know I've already kind of played the game, so it's not new in a way, but it might be useful to see a actual sort of walkthrough for that game, because a lot of people really struggle with it. It's really quite hard. Very, very cute, but really hard. So that might be a thing I do. I've also been playing a lot of Resi 6 with my friend. We started from the beginning. We've played Leon, Chris, and part of Jake and Sherry's campaign. We're in the middle of that at the moment. So hopefully we'll finish that soon, and then we can ramp up the difficulty and play through a few times. Because me and him played so much Resi 5, and I've missed playing Resi 6. So we're starting that again, and we're going to blitz through it. That awkward moment when someone decides to ring your phone when you're in the middle of recording. But I've just listened back to the previous clip. Yes, we're going to keep playing Resi 6 and discovering that and redoing it. But other than that, I haven't really played that much. I haven't played many games on my own other than Feel the Snow. Oh, and Grand Theft Auto. I got really into Grand Theft Auto for a while, a couple of weeks ago. I haven't played much of that recently either, but having GTA 5 is so much fun. Now that my, not my memory card, my graphics card, I can name computer parts. My graphics card has been changed, so now my computer actually works properly, which is great, and it can display the graphics of GTA 5. Unfortunately, it still struggles a bit. I think I need some more RAM for my computer. Until I get that, I can't stream or record GTA 5 because my computer struggles too much playing it without adding recording in on top of that. It would just be too hard, and my computer would just be like, no, not doing it. So now on to music. I've been listening to quite a few random things recently, actually. I got really into Sia, into her songs The Greatest and Alive. Still into Of Monsters and Men and a few other things like that. But, and a few other random songs as well, like Rude by Magic. I've been madly obsessed with that for some reason. Not just because it's a meme, because it totally is a meme, but it's got a really nice sort of reggae feel to it, I think, with the music and the way the lyrics fit to it, and I really like it for some reason. I don't know. It's great. But the one thing that I did get into that has probably made the most of an impact out of all the things I've done in the past, like, 2 or 3 months, and I've been very quiet about this until I got this far, but I'm gonna talk about it now, BTS. For those of you who know who BTS are, no explanation needed. For those who don't, BTS is a 7-person boy or male vocal group from South Korea, and I love them. They are, I don't know. I got really into them, really into their music, and being into their music made me think, I really wish I could sing along to these songs because I really enjoy them. But I don't know Korean. So I started learning Korean. Because that makes sense. But it goes much deeper than that. I mean, I know I really like BTS and I listen to some of their songs here and there. Not quite as intensely as I did at first. I've taken a little bit of a mellow on that. But I still really like their music. But this has been like a massive springboard to me, watching so many videos on YouTube about South Korea and about Japan, Japanese culture, South Korean culture, the ways that they're the same, the ways that they're different. My friend is also really into Japanese culture, and he's been learning Japanese on and off for a while, so we can now have some really in-depth conversations about linguistics and the differences between the two languages and countries, because he really wanted to go to Japan way back when, and I've always kind of wanted to go to Japan, but now I really want to go to South Korea as well. Not anytime soon, though. I want to spend a lot of time learning the language and sort of understanding more about the culture and making sure that when I go to whatever country I go to, whether I get to Japan or South Korea, I want to not be ignorant of the culture. I want to be very knowledgeable about what I'm walking into. I know for a fact that I am not a stereotypical person that's going to fit in well in Korea. People are going to say things because that's apparently what South Koreans are like. They will point out things that are different. So I need to be very thick-skinned and prepared for that, which I probably would be now, but I still want to know more of the language and more of the culture and have a better understanding of what I'm walking into before I go there, and at the moment, that's not that time. But as far as Korean goes, I know what most of the letters are and what they stand for. I'd say there are some I'm a bit rusty on. I've read what they all stand for, but there's some I don't completely remember properly. And if you give me a word and give me like a full minute, I can read the word and attempt to pronounce the word. Probably won't pronounce it correctly and will have no idea what it says. But that is the point that I am currently up to with Korean. It is so much fun. I'm really enjoying learning it. I'm really enjoying the sort of weird detective cracking code feeling I get from learning this language that uses letters that are not Romanized letters. It is so much fun to do. And there are loads of different sources that I've been using to learn Korean. I will list some of them in the description below so you guys can see where I'm getting some of my information from. I do use Duolingo, and I was using an app called Memrise, but I stopped using Memrise because I felt like it relied too heavily on the romanization of the characters, and I want to get away from the romanization. I want to be able to learn the characters as they are and not rely on romanization, because if you rely too much on that, you'll be mispronouncing things. You need to be able to see the Korean character and hangul, and read that and know what that stands for, not the romanization. So that's what I'm trying to do at the moment, and it's so much fun. One of the last things I want to talk about before I end this little vlog is I want to talk about YouTube Rewind, actually. I've watched YouTube Rewind. I've watched the pull apart videos by both PewDiePie and Emma Blackery of YouTube Rewind. I want to talk about it as a consumer. like from a consumer perspective, I consumed, watched, viewed, you know, the product that is YouTube Rewind 2017, I was a little bit disappointed. I'll be honest. I think most people have that impression. But my disappointment does not stem from the fact that there were lots of YouTubers I didn't know, because there's been lots of YouTubers I didn't know from most of the years. That didn't faze me. There was an oversaturation of YouTubers. There were so many people crammed into that space. And it also didn't come from the choice of music, which a lot of people were complaining about. I didn't mind it. The thing that I was disappointed in was, in previous years, or some of the previous years, I felt like you could really see the personality of the YouTubers in the shots coming through a bit more. And this year, everything just seemed a bit, like it was all about colours and flying off into space, and there were lots of people cut out of different things. And yeah, that was probably a meme from somewhere that I probably don't know. But it's not the first year we've had that. I mean, look at the green screen stuff from Shia LaBeouf way back when. We've always had, like, people being cut out and thrown around the screen. I don't understand why that was such a big thing that they needed to do, but I thought it seemed really tacky. And that whole middle section, before the hold handy bit, I did feel a little bit... I wasn't... I liked the fidget spinner in the snow. I liked that bit. I thought that was well put together. But why are they all throwing slime at each other? And why are all these people cut out and zooming around the screen? That might just be me being ignorant of trends from this year, but I just thought the whole thing felt really messy and really too busy. That being said, I do like the fact, and this is probably where I go against the grain, I like the fact that they put in so many YouTubers from different places, because I think it's important to recognise that while America may be the home of a lot of YouTube stuff, and while the UK is still an English-speaking country, so yeah, UK, we get some YouTubers in there, like PewDiePie, although he wasn't in this year's, and I understand why, and I also respect him for putting out a video about it and the way that he discussed it. I thought he was very mature about that whole situation, so kudos to him. But we're not the only YouTube community. English speakers, we're really not the only YouTube community. And I like the fact that they are pulling in other communities and trying to sort of show that. I liked the fact that there was a whole bit of Asian sort of YouTubers and a bit of like Hispanic YouTubers and sort of other cultures and other sort of big languages that put YouTube content out there were featured. I very much appreciated that. But, like, I can definitely see why a lot of people complained, because that meant... I like Emma Blackery's idea of having regional YouTube rewinds might be a good idea, because you can pull out the things that are specifically tailored to your community. And I would really enjoy watching a whole YouTube rewind video on Japanese and Korean stuff. Or on, like, Mexican, Hispanic, Latino stuff, you know? I would really enjoy that, rather than it all specifically being quite Americanized. But in general, I was just underwhelmed by this year. I just didn't think it was quite as engaging as some of the previous years. There were some years in the past that I was like really buzzed to watch. And I personally liked the hand-holding for the message YouTube was trying to create. I also appreciate that it came off as pandering and a little bit jarring to some people, bearing in mind the fact that YouTube is a platform a lot of people, extremists and so on, use to, I guess, reach the people they're trying to influence. So it's a very thin line YouTube has to walk with that one, but I appreciate the thought they had there, and I did think the hand-holding was kind of sweet, but at the same time a bit, again, jarring. It didn't really fit in with the pace of the rest of the video, so it was a bit unusual. And I also saw a lot of people complain that the animators were pushed to the end. I think that's probably, again, if you stick them in the middle, that might come across as jarring, so that might be why YouTube stuck them at the end. But to be fair, at the end, they got a long section compared to some of the other YouTubers, and I don't just mean Emma Blackery here. I spotted Tomska and LD Shadow Lady, but briefly, and those are some of the people that I would have loved to see more of. But that's me personally, that's people that I like, so obviously I'm going to have that impression. And I also feel kind of sad that, like they said, they don't usually do smaller YouTubers anymore. So people like Marzia, or in LD Shadow Lady's case, Smallish Beans, like those people aren't there. Their partners aren't there. So you're specifically taking a couple and saying, we don't want you, we only want you. And it's kind of sad, because things like that would make really good camera work, to have these people who have this real chemistry. Or if there was ever a possibility of putting some of the people, like Kick the PJ, PewDiePie, Emma Blackery, Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, I know they're all in different places, but having some of those people together, you know, or some of Markiplier's friends like Wade, Bob, and those, like that crew, as well as Ethan being with Mark. I'm glad Ethan got in, don't get me wrong, I'm really glad that Ethan got in. But it would be nice if Wade and Bob were also there. Okay, so I went on for longer about that than I expected to, but never mind. I hope you guys appreciate my opinions, and I hope you're excited, like I am, about the new job, and the fact that the animals now have their substrate back. Teddy's making a racket. What are you doing? Strange child. But yeah, that you're excited about all this, the Korean stuff, all these things that are going on. It's very, very exciting. I hope you guys are excited too. I'm hoping to start uploading proper videos again. They're probably not going to go back to being 4 times a week yet, but leave it with me, I'm working on it. I need to get caught up with so many things, like Life is Strange Before the Storm. I've only just put the second part of the first chapter out, and the second chapter came out in the middle of my Halloween videos. I was like, what? And I've seen a trailer mentioning that the third one's coming. I'm not ready for this. So I need to get caught up with that. I need to try and finish getting out any videos I have left recorded, and just generally get caught up. So hopefully that's a thing that I'm going to manage to do. Fingers crossed. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give the like button some love, hit the sub button if you're new, join the Monkey Crew, and I'll be back with another weekly vlog next Sunday. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Bye!